All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Unqualified Critics. So, per the usual now, as of the past few weeks, we've got 8-bit vinyl, third floor arcade with Jason. I still don't know if I should say third floor arcade or just Jason. And then we've got brand new to the show, Dreamcast Kyle. What's up, man?
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. So I figured we shoot the crap a little bit. Happy Sunday to everybody. So just chill, comfy stream. How's that sound?
Sounds great.
Good.
Cool.
Yeah,
So
I got a funny story.
What's up, Kyle?
No, go ahead. Let's hear the story. Kick it off.
Today was the day I was trying to carry the arcade one-up Pong pub table up 2 flights of steps.
Oh,
And the stinking thing was too wide. It wouldn't fit up the, I think it's like 34 inches in diameter. It wouldn't fit up the stairwell. So I had to like completely take the thing apart and, carry it up in pieces and rebuild it. It took like 2.5 hours. It was such a pain.
Dude, I don't want to hear about that because I'm looking at moving potentially earlier than I thought. So I'm going to have to take a page out of Third Floor's book and do a arcade tour because once I leave, the arcade's broken up, and then I'm going to be in an apartment for about a year, and then the house will be built, and then it'll be bigger, better arcade, but this will be a long time from now. So I'm going to have to move everything. So whatever you just experienced, man, just be glad it's just the pub table.
You're going to have a sore back for sure.
I know, man. That's the downside to buying all this stuff is someday you got to move it.
right.
Definitely.
So Kyle, you've got a pretty dope arcade behind you, man. Do you want to talk and I'm sure a lot of people on the channel have seen you before, but do you want to give us a quick rundown about you, your channel, and what you're into?
So basically, I'm just kind of a modding channel. I take a lot of the 3/4 scale stuff and just kind of make them into stuff that I want to play. So as you can see, I have a Batman Atari Games 89 cabinet behind me that I modded out of a Street Fighter cabinet, running a Raspberry Pi 4 on MAME. So I do a lot of builds, but I do keep some stuff stock, like my MVSX. I haven't touched anything on it, and Pinball haven't really touched too much either. But I just love being creative and trying to make stuff that I want to play.
Let me ask you.
Batman mod is awesome. You got that.
Awesome.
Thanks, man.
Totally awesome.
Yeah, I'm assuming there's a video on that we can watch.
Yeah, there's a couple. There's a couple.
We'll have to go check that out. So everyone check out the channel.
I have it ordered. It's ordered, man. It's taking forever to get anything nowadays. Like I'm
Where'd you
waiting
order
like
it
weeks. Arcade Game Factory. I ordered a few blank light boxes. So
do you guys have a consensus on who you like best for these third-party light-up marquees?
For sure that.
yeah.
Arcade Game Factory.
That arcade that Game Factory. That for the price, man, you couldn't make it for that. I'm so thrilled that he stays very, very low key, and it's good product.
Do you know offhand what he
do they
charges?
charge for that? Like
Yeah,
$50?
exactly. Might as well shout it out.
Like $50, right, Kyle? I mean,
Yeah, like for me, it's Canadian, so it was around $80.
yeah.
So
I mean, I bought this TMNT one back here from him, and I got that on like a Black Friday Thanksgiving thing, and I got it for like $45, and then it was like $12 to ship it. I mean, Jesus. I mean, it's all the translucent reflective decal and everything else for it, so you couldn't beat it.
yeah.
And it definitely makes your arcade cabinet just look like you spent another $100 on it easy.
Definitely.
I have a few of them from DIY Retro Arcade as well. Just comparing to the Arcade Game Factory, I think I prefer the Arcade Game Factory stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get it included with the arcade one-ups, I mean, they're fine. I really have nothing negative to say about those, but I just feel like the decal itself on these is just pops.
Did you guys see the legacy cabinets are popping up without?
Sorry.
No, go ahead. There's a damn delay anytime you do anything online. Yeah, go ahead.
On those light up marquees, do you prefer having like a border around the artwork, or just like no border? Like the arcade one-ups, there's no border.
Yeah, I think that's what I like about the Arcade one-up ones is that there isn't a border. I think it's definitely more appealing. Yeah.
It makes the decal a little bit larger if you don't have the side.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what ruined the one-up marquees for me was the MVSX. So just to bring it back to that, but their marquee, the light diffusion was done better. I assume there's a bigger gap. I never opened it up when I had the review unit. We weren't supposed to get into it, but anyway, that marquee looks amazing. And we should talk by the end of the show we have any guesses for what is coming next from the guys behind MVSX? So I feel like whenever I shout out Unico, I don't know if that has as much name recognition as the MVSX. I feel like everybody knows what that is, and that has a lot of fans. But they have something up their sleeve, and don't know exactly what it is. I'm hoping they're going to redesign the MVSX, but that's just my hope. That's not like inside information, so I don't want to spread that rumor. But man, I would love to see that thing redone.
Dude, I would love that too. What I'm really hoping for though is like a Capcom cabinet, like 50-in-1,
like a big blue kind of thing.
Oh,
that
man,
would be dope.
So cool. I would love that.
So I honestly don't know what I'm allowed to say and not, because when they talked to me about that stuff, it was literally forever ago, like 6 months. So when in doubt, I'll just not say it, I guess, because I don't want to mess anything up. And plus, I'm sure a ton has changed for them since back then. But suffice to say, I know they're looking at other licenses, and they have to. I mean, Neo Geo is huge, but there's just so much stuff out there. Why wouldn't you look at other licenses? So I don't know what they're doing, and I don't know at all that they're doing a Big Blue, but I can tell you that's what I recommended, because it would just keep the theme of an art or a multicade, but an official multicade going. It seems obvious, so I definitely put it out there. I think they'd sell like gangbusters, but no idea if they'll do it.
Totally.
Pitbull's got his own idea.
Pitbull's all. I'm looking at that comment. Sorry,
I don't even know what ECTRIC means. Like electric.
Yeah.
So,
God, all right. This is a family-friendly stream, boys. But anyway, so
sorry for who's ever not in this chat, but if we can't repeat it, or we would.
So Jason, did you get I'm looking at my iiRcade. I was playing Alien Storm earlier, so we should chat about that. But did you get your Retromania arcade?
Yeah, I was hoping to have it this week, but they're saying the Retromania Wrestling Cab shipping next week, so I should have it probably by like next weekend. I was really hoping to have it for today, but unfortunately it was delayed.
I mean, but we kind of know what it is. Like, we've all seen what they look like. There's no mystery to what the iiRcade is. And then, have you played Retromania yet? I can't remember.
I haven't tried it yet. No, have you?
Neither have I.
No, I'm waiting for the arcade experience.
Yeah, I do like what they're doing, though. I mean, I like that the iiRcade subject that they came up with the Kung Fu game. At least I feel like a lot of people, it's another known game that, maybe it's not a top end game, but a lot of people do know the game.
Yeah, it's interesting to me that iiRcade's kind of splitting the difference right now between pushing on getting new games in the platform. I think a lot of people are hoping for that new TMNT to show up. I don't know if they have plans for that, but I have to think they're trying to get it.
Yeah.
Clearly, they've got Retromania lined up, although I know that game's been delayed a bit. But they're doing that. When I saw that, and I saw they're having success with that, when you look at their like top 10 game sales, it's the newer stuff, or it's like phone game ports and whatnot that are doing well. So I wondered if they would step off the gas a little bit in getting, retro titles in. But, obviously Alien Storm joined. They've got a handful of nice titles, like you mentioned, 8-Bit, that they've added over the past few weeks. I'm really curious, though. I mean, eventually I feel like they're going to have to pick a lane and stick with it. They're not a huge company. They're going to have to focus a bit. But right now I'm enjoying the mix of sort of modern games that are coming to it and older stuff. I didn't think I would ever say that. I thought I'd only want to play older games on it, but it's not been the case.
Totally. Did you see this week they actually have a Tato partnership? There's like a new Space Invaders coming out. Looks pretty cool.
Yeah. Yep.
That's cool.
I didn't look into that yet, though. It's Space Invaders Extreme, right?
Yeah.
So that was on the Nintendo DS a long time ago. That came out on DS like a million years ago, and it's awesome. I don't know if this is the exact same game as that or not. I haven't looked into it, but Space Invaders Extreme, or whatever version of it I played years ago, was amazing. So I am excited for that.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of fun.
I'm sure it is.
So that's one cabinet I don't have is the iiRcade. I was talking to Jong last week and about trying to get it to Canada because it's really expensive to get here. So I think they're still trying to explore some shipping options for the people in Canada. They're trying to get them.
I know. I feel bad for you, man. I've seen literally 2 or 3 MK1 cabs here. I've even seen an MK2 with reasonable price tag, but like, what do you do? Do you just get in your car, you drive it over the border? Like how?
I know. Yeah, I don't know.
I feel bad because you're like, I can't find one, and people are reneging on the deal, and I just felt bad that I'm like, God, we have them right here.
What's the price in Canada for that right now?
For the iArcade,
Yeah.
you're probably looking over $1,000, and that's not even like the shipping.
Do they even officially ship it to Canada? Or
I talked to him and he said he would, but it'd probably be like $200 to ship it.
that's right.
It's a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
And then
iArcade-
customs charges.
Shout out for the mustache. I do this a couple times a year and it's hyper divisive. Like people like it and think it's cool, or they think I'm a huge asshole. It's one or the other. My girlfriend almost universally hates it, but is what it is. so for iArcade and talking about availability reminds me, something I've been thinking a little bit about with them is their distribution. And it's kind of maybe a boring topic, but they're selling it direct. They've got, a premium price point relative to at games and especially relative to Arcade 1-Up. What I'm wondering is if they're in a position where the cost to produce it is such that they can't afford to get into retail. It's too expensive. We know prices have gone up since it dropped. Plus, they're moving into even allowing for plexiglass or tempered glass. They're not actually bundling that in. They're just selling it. But my point is they seem to be moving the direction of more premium, not less, which I'm fine with. I think is cool. But I don't think I'm starting to think we're never going to see an iArcade in, say, Walmart. I don't know why they don't sell any of this stuff on Amazon, except I'm just assuming the dollars don't make sense. But do you guys think that matters? Like in the long run, if iArcade just remains an enthusiast product, we all go to their website and buy it. Or do they really need to be in retail stores for it to win? I'm genuinely curious.
That's a good question.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, we'd all like it to be in a retail store because it's easy for us to get it, right?
For sure. Well, and sales. I mean, I know a lot of people who like this stuff, but maybe can't afford or just don't want to spend $500 for a new arcade. They know if they wait, there's a chance they're going to get it priced down. If you're selling it direct, that's not going to happen. Now, I'm saying that as iArcade has a sale going right now, of course, $100 off. I think it is free shipping in the US. So in my opinion, it's a good deal for what you get, but it's not the same as a Walmart, whatever Walmart does, where they really hack prices down.
I think the MVSX now is available in Walmart.
Yeah.
As I checked.
Is it? That's good.
I think so, yeah.
Like in store or just online? I've not seen them in store.
On their website.
Nice.
Just kind of observing like kind of a solid sales pitch factor is all these, Arcade 1-Up and at games and stuff, because they're in the store. It's not so much of can we get it, as opposed to it is free advertising. So when you do go on those websites, you can see the game, you can review the game, you can read the reviews, and you might have interest. Where if you're not in this gaming community and you don't know about the iArcade,
that's a great point.
You might just be lost and never know about it until somebody actually buys one and you see it.
Yeah, and so that the distribution kind of is the marketing in some ways. So the best version of that would be it's in Walmart and it's sitting on the floor and you can play it. But we all know how that went. Those 4 units fell apart and looked like crap after like a week because they weren't built for it. But you're walking down the aisle, or somebody's mom or whatever is walking down the aisle. They see it in the center palette and you want to go and jump for it. Or online, you get reviews. Now, to be fair, iArcade could introduce user reviews to their own website, and then they could run a crap load of Google ads and promote that and probably get some of that benefit. But you bring up a good point. If they're just going to sell through themselves and they're not going to show up on Amazon or Walmart, you don't really get the reviews. People have to go out of their way to find it. And I think I lean toward they probably need to find a way for broader distribution. But maybe for now it's okay because it's probably they couldn't go and build. Yeah, they're pulling this number out, but like 100,000 in the next month because stuff's hard to build right now.
Yeah, they just might not be able to meet that demand, so it's okay for them. I don't know.
Yeah, for now, but I wonder what it'll look like in a year or two. But they can answer that question later. They could introduce a cheaper model. There's nothing that would stop them from that, other than maybe splitting their user base. But they could think about it. I'll tell you guys, when I got Alien Storm to review, I went out and bought a new HDMI capture card. I have an existing capture card. For anyone who's been following the channel, you've heard me complain about this, but I got to tell you the story. So I buy a super crappy, just from China, off-brand white label capture card, and it has conflict with a lot of the copy protection. I think that's what I suspect the issue is. So for some products, it would capture. For some, it just wouldn't, even if the specs worked out. So anyway, I buy a new one and I hook it up to my iiRcade, and I'm finally going to get proper screen capture from this thing and do a review of Alien Storm. And Alien Storm is locked down to the HDMI output. It apparently is a rights issue, but it won't allow you to do any kind of capture. So I went through all of that for literally nothing, which is fine. I needed a new card anyway. But it just goes to show the stuff that people like Jong have to deal with when they're securing rights for these games. I mean, I don't know if other games that iiRcade has were HDMI limited, but imagine you go to a publisher and you say, look, we want to get your game. Well, okay, you can have it, but under these terms, you pay this much. Everything seems to be custom, like with these deals. So I'd really like to see the rights relationships with these companies get cleaned up and the publishers to kind of standardize around what they want.
You're right. I mean,
what other games have you bought off their library lately?
Yeah, we'll come back to Pito's question in a second. So I got Alien Storm for free, just full disclosure. So I didn't actually buy it. I bought Map Mania, and the games I bought when I first got it, and I know there were like 3 others. I actually don't remember offhand. I think I bought Windjammers. I can't remember if that was a review or I bought it, but I played that quite a bit, and I've been playing Alien Storm and reminding myself how much I like that game, even though it's super weird.
Did you get R-Type on there yet?
Yes, I have yes, I have R-Type. I haven't played it yet. But it's R-Type. Everybody knows that game.
Yeah, it's a good game. Super hard though, but it's fun.
Yeah. Shoot 'em ups are something I'd like to see better represented in these arcade games, and that's what I like about the at games and the iiRcades of the world. That maybe you couldn't sell a standalone R-Type cabinet, but it's a game with a huge fan base.
Totally.
Yeah.
So cool thing with the that $100 off. So I ordered that Retromania cab like probably 3 months ago. And they actually credited my account $100. I thought that was pretty cool.
Wait, what do you mean?
They're doing the $100 off sale.
Yeah.
So I pre-ordered the Retromania wrestling cab like 3 months ago, and they actually reimbursed me $100. I thought
like retroactively, they gave you the money.
Yeah.
Damn, that's nice.
Cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's cool. They honored it.
Yeah, I didn't think they would, but the money they refunded me $100. Pretty cool.
Hey, customer satisfaction. What?
Totally, yeah.
No, you can't argue that.
Under promise, over deliver, man. It works every time. A lot of companies never learn that lesson, but it sounds like they've got it locked down. 8-bit, do you have an iiRcade? I forget.
No, I don't.
So what would it take for you and Kyle? What would it take for you guys to jump in and buy it? And I mean, no wrong answer. If it's just not for you, there's nothing wrong with that. But what would it take for you guys to get an iiRcade?
An addition on the house.
More space. That's fair.
For me, it's just availability.
Yeah.
And price, I guess. Like, I'll buy it if it comes with a brick. I'll go and buy it like today.
Because I feel like they're just in the beginning stages. They're gonna come out with more and more cool games. It's just a matter of when. And the fact that they come out with some of these games that are like they're niche and they're, like you say, they're iPhone games. They're a step away from all the retro, but also have some retro. That's a cool thing. Nobody else is doing that, so I like both.
Yeah,
we're
get
a Shredder's Revenge theme cabinet. Oh man, that would be so sweet.
They'll print money, man. If they can get that,
that would be a good one too.
Yep.
If they had themed cabinets of those games, I think they would. I
like how it looks retro, but it's a new game. I mean, that's really cool. That it looks.
We're going to see more and more of that. I don't know specifically what the dev costs are for one of these retro style games compared to a modern, but it has to be less. It's just no question. Has to be substantially less. They're selling like gangbusters. I really think Streets of Rage 4, even though there had been like River City Girls before it, there'd been stuff that had come out before that was in that same vein. But new games based on retro licenses with retro gameplay and aesthetics.
Thank you, Rainwater, for the comment. Yeah. A GoFundMe page, he says, for me and Kyle.
I got a question about iiRcade to you guys. Does he sell the artwork separate? So, like, if you bought the original cabinet and you want the Retromania artwork, would he sell you that separately, or do you have to buy the whole other cabinet?
I don't think you can buy it separately, but what have you guys seen?
I know that you had to physically put the artwork on
right
initially, so
the Double Dragon.
You might have the choice. I mean, yeah, the Double Dragon or the Dragon's Lair, those guys had to physically put that artwork on. So maybe if you just said, "I want this artwork,"
I checked their web store a couple days ago, and it's not listed. You have to buy the cabinets. If you remember, and maybe you do, maybe that's why you're asking. A while ago, they announced like a Black Series cabinet that would be blank, and then you could add your decals. I don't know if they actually did that outside of the Kickstarter, but right now, if you go to their store, at least as of a day or two ago, you had to buy one with artwork, and I didn't see any options to buy the artwork separate.
Yeah, Kev Gretz saying that it's artwork, not printed. Or it's printed, it's not artwork.
Yeah.
Well, that's a weird distinction. I mean, it's printed artwork. I don't know what that means, but it's decal that you have to apply yourself, which some people don't like that. And I don't blame them. I'm awful at like applying decals to stuff, man. I'm always worried I'm going to screw it up. So P-Dubs had an interesting question earlier. Let's get to this. What do you think Jong is going to announce Tuesday? So I don't have any idea. I've not been following iiRcade super closely over the last couple of weeks, other than when their PR people reach out. They haven't said anything to me about Tuesday. You guys have any thoughts on what might be coming new? Think in terms of its E3 season, so it could potentially be a big announcement.
Streets Rage 4, maybe.
Yeah.
So a new game kind of thing.
But it probably won't be that, but that would be the top on my wish list.
Yeah, you and me both. I wouldn't be surprised if they do new hardware of some sort.
Yeah, that'd be cool too. Like a somehow get like a steering wheel or something like that.
That seems to be the gold standard. Everybody wants to move into that. I mean, if you have a multi-cade that has these swappable control panels, you're going to have that. We know At Games is working on it. Kev's comment is interesting because I hadn't seen this. I normally don't watch Jong's live stream, so I do sometimes miss out on that news. Said Jong, it says they're entering the next phase of the company's growth. So to me, that sounds like either huge new publisher relationship. And they already work with Sega, and they already have some big. You mentioned the Taito partnership. They already have some big stuff in play. Either huge new software front, or hardware, or I guess maybe it could be a distribution deal. But I'm still really iffy on that at this price point. I can't imagine they'd get big retail distribution.
Yeah.
So I missed a little piece of that. So what were you saying? Which one do you think? Which company do you think is going to release at E3? Were you talking still about the iiRcade?
Yeah, so that was iiRcade. So I'm not saying iiRcade will be at E3. I don't know if they will or not, but I'm saying they're talking about a big announcement. And because it's E3 season, this is just that time of year when these companies are thinking kind of longer term. Yeah. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, but it drives me nuts. These arcade companies don't, maybe other than iiRcade, they sort of have like big announcements a couple times a year and then just this desert wasteland of nothing that goes forever. And you don't hear from them. I kind of like to hear a little more from them throughout about what they're planning. That's what was nice about John D. But, rest in peace, I guess. I don't know if we're ever going to hear from him again or not.
I think he's coming back at E3.
That's the announcement. John's joining iiRcade.
On the Arcade One up front, what do you think surprises they're going to bring at E3?
So the Simpsons cabinet's in the title. We should talk about that. P-Dubs, if you're still in the chat. So by the time I clicked on his video, he took it down. And I think what I saw in his comments were he took it down because he thought maybe it wasn't real. But that's how I interpreted it. If I'm wrong, let me know. I heard that visually it had some oddities that weren't consistent with other arcade one-ups. So my first thought was it's probably fake. I don't know why they would leak it because they're already far enough along in planning that cabinet that it seems to me it would be weird if they leaked it. But anyway, all that said, I think we have to see a big Konami cabinet. That's what whether it's Simpsons or not.
I just hope that I feel like they're gonna release the Simpsons. I just hope that when they do, instead of reaching for one or two games, they should just have it be a Konami-based cabinet, but it's a Simpson design. And I think you just have more reachability and putting more games on there. Because we're spoiled now with the legacy cabinets as far as how many games we're getting. Kind of hard to go backwards a little bit when they give you 12 and now you're going back to just 2. Not that I wouldn't buy it, because I would. But
I think they would go backward for a Simpsons. I think that's a big enough title, and I think they're going to be spending enough money on licensing for that I don't think we're going to see a big multi-cade. Maybe like a non-name brand license like Sunset Riders. And I don't mean that to disparage it. I love that game, but it's not based on a TV show or anything, It's
Michael.
just
Michael B wants Robotron. In case nobody knows that, he wants
Now we
Robotron.
know.
G.I. Joe.
Yeah,
He's big on the G.I. Joe cab too.
and P-Dubs wants Q*bert, so we're saying it out loud.
I want Q*bert too, and I don't know if you guys have seen back when John was involved. He said specifically we're not doing Q*bert because the joystick orientation won't match other games. I'm disappointed by that. I'd love to see Q*bert.
Do you know what a cab? I would love to see a Narc cab.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorites from back in the day.
Yeah, I guess that's a good question. What are some obscure games that you guys feel you want to see that we might not see because, you know, would they release a Narc cab? Is that really going to sell? But that doesn't mean we don't want it.
Website exclusive maybe for Narc. I can't see that going into Walmart.
No
Yeah. That probably would never be it.
Fight the police.
way.
That's appropriate nowadays, you know.
Yeah, maybe I would get a second life that way.
I hope they give us another light gun cabinet, like a Time Crisis or even House of the Dead or something.
I think they have to announce that at E3. If they did, we're going to be a year into Buck Hunter by this holiday. If they don't come with another conventional like core gamer light gun game, it'd be a huge missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Maybe another driving cab. I've been wanting Cruising USA for a while now, but
I could see that. I think we at least get a driving or a racing, if not both, announced at E3.
I'm on board with the
Crazy
cruising.
not to.
I've come to love that game, and I'm new to it, which is weird. I just never had that much time on the game until recently. I really like the game.
It's a huge brand too. If they can nail that, it'll sell really well.
Do you think they'll keep the same bench design or do you think they'll change it?
I bet they'll keep it. So here's what's interesting about their pinball. It's the first product they've sold that's not flat packed. It has like a pre-assembled sort of three-dimensional kind of thing. Why that's important is that might mean they could then do packaging for other non-flat pack products, like a proper racing seat. I don't actually think they're going to do it, but that was my first thought when I saw the pinball box being a cube, basically, was wow. Because you got to remember, flat pack was really important to Arcade One Up. It's how they got into retailers. You know, the boxes take up less space on the shelf, and they broke that rule for pinball. If they broke it for pinball, would they break it for a really good racing game? But honestly, I think they'd keep the bench seat, which I think is disappointing.
Yeah.
yeah, I like the stand up.
POS, man. That thing is just not good. I mean,
It's not great, that's for sure.
It's because Outrun it played really well too. Like I had to mod mine. I couldn't sit on that thing.
Someone said MVS DJ Cabal MVSX is totally not flat pack. Yeah, but I'm talking about Arcade One Up. So clearly, At Games and Unico they don't do flat pack, but they don't live and die by Walmart the way Arcade One Up does. Yeah, the bench kind of sucks, but I still like the game. I'm glad I bought it.
You both had the Outrun sit down, right? You see in Dreamcast, Kyle?
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely need to add a racing cab.
I think the stand up.
I don't have any racing cabs up here.
I think the stand up was pretty hard to get in Canada as well. I don't even think it came here. Yeah.
I don't really understand why, like, certain games go to you and then certain games don't, and vice versa.
That is weird.
I don't know. Like Michael B's, he's always all over it with the brick, and I guess they said that they weren't gonna bring it here. So I haven't really seen any unless you import it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm jealous of that brick website you guys have, though.
They've done a good job.
Yeah, seems like you guys, do have really good access to that. To the game. It's from that site, so.
Yeah, they definitely stepped up and taken over they're like our best source for arcades here.
I don't know if it's
sellers in Canada do they have that sell this stuff other than the brick?
It just buys stuff, right?
Yeah, and we have Walmart obviously, and GameStop or EB Games, and I bought my MVSX from Canada Computers, which I've never shopped there ever before, but they were the only ones I could find it from. So
yeah, just reading the comments.
I reached out to Brick. No, I'm misremembering. They reached out to me. I mentioned them in a video, and they kind of got excited because at the time, I think this has evolved, but they didn't really prioritize their website. They were mostly like brick and mortar. I guess it's in their title. Mm-hmm. But I just said in my video, holy crap. At the time, they had almost every Arcade One Up product there, catalog. It might not be exactly the price you want to pay, but the pricing wasn't bad either. It wasn't like price gouge stuff.
Yeah.
We don't have that here in the US. We might have all the products, but they come and go in different waves and different retailers of different things. But the brick was just like this catalog for Arcade 1UP. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Is it still like that, Kyle?
Yeah,
Do they still
yeah,
have
it is.
everything?
Like they're right on top of Legacy, and they have everything. They have at-game stuff on there now, and I would be nice if we could get the iiRcade there.
Yeah.
That's a good thought.
So what general improvements from Arcade 1UP would you like to see with this next wave? Like as far as like Wi-Fi or like coin doors, stuff like that?
I'd like to see the Legacies redesigned to be I don't want to say suck, and I don't have one, so I don't want to trash them too much. But they made boneheaded decisions with a product that should have been a home run. $400, pretty good looking cabinet, great game selection. How do you screw that up when they've had years to iterate?
Yeah.
Whoever goofed that design, I mean, maybe there are good reasons why it happened. Maybe they had to design that in a week and they didn't have a lot of time or whatever. But I would love to see them make good on the Legacy promise. But I don't know. What do you guys think?
Same. I mean, it's got so many.
I wish they were the Legacy cabs. I think the big flaw is just the overall height. If they were like 3 inches taller, I think all those problems would have been solved.
Right.
All they had to do was be the same height as the existing Arcade 1UPs. I don't think anybody was asking for more than that from the Legacies.
Or use the Star Wars riser. I'm pretty sure that height
There's
is.
still other issues worth noting with the control panel and stuff, but I don't think they would have been as targeted if the thing was higher.
Wait, what do you mean by targeted?
Like, because so many things are wrong with it, it's easy to attack it all. But like if Jason, like he's saying, is if it was taller, maybe people wouldn't be bitching as much about the screen tilt or the marquee being pushed out. They still, we all still would want more, but it wouldn't be as like this thing is disaster. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you might be onto something. I think the height threw a lot of people off because we've come to expect a certain Arcade 1UP height, and some people think that's not tall enough. But most people are satisfied with it. To me, what was so disappointing was by Gen 3, in my opinion, and not everyone agrees with me, certainly, but I'm pretty forgiving on this stuff. I felt like, yeah, the design here is pretty good. Like when I play my Star Wars or my Marvel Limited or whatever, my Golden Axe, like I don't sit there and nitpick the design as much. There's stuff I would like to see improved, and maybe guys like Kyle fix these things on their own. But for them to go backward after a couple years of steady improvements was really disappointing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this TMNT tab, I feel like take the control panel off it for a second, pretend TMNT is the 2-player, right? The screen tilt was correct. The stereo sound was better. They're coming with light up marquees now. The buttons were better, and it's kind of like that was a good thing. Why didn't you just roll with that? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah. Obviously, a big one is controls. Like if they said we're gonna charge you more for better controls, would you guys be interested in something like that, or do you think people would freak out about price?
I totally would be. I'd be in favor of that.
Yeah,
I swap out the controls on everything. Like you'd be sick to your stomach to know what I've spent on Sanwa and Hap hardware.
And man, I'll tell you what, to defend you for a second for going and doing that, if you complained about that, you'd be perfectly within your rights because you're buying it twice. You're buying it first and you're getting crappy clone controls that, and I don't even mean like, oh, well, they're clones, so they're bad. I mean, bad clone controls. And so you don't want those, so you throw them out. They'd have no market value. I'm assuming you have like a closet where you open the door and you get swarmed with 300 pounds of crap, right?
Everywhere, yeah.
Right.
On my computer desk right now, there's Sanwa and Euro sticks and all kinds of stuff. So.
Yeah. Well, and the stock hardware that you had to remove, because what are you going to do with that?
I threw it out.
Well, there you go, because you can't do anything with it, right? So you store it or you trash it. So I've banged this drum a lot, and I don't know, I kind of stopped talking about it because I think people probably got sick of hearing about it. I even got sick of talking about it. But I think they screwed up with the Marvel Limited. Was a fantastic product. It came with all Sanwa controls, and it was a good value, but apparently it didn't sell very well. So they looked at that, and John from Arcade 1UP said this repeatedly. Because of that not selling well, we're not going to do upgraded controls. So
I think they made like 8,000 of that cabinet though. I think that was like
it was a limited number. It was some single digit thousands. My point is, I think they did a crap job marketing it. You couldn't buy it in Walmart, even if it was only $400. We now know Walmart will sell $400 arcades. I think it was just through their website, and then maybe some showed up in Canada, but whatever it was, they did an awful job marketing it. I bought it because I was specifically looking for an arcade one up with quality controls. They announced that, said done, I'm going to buy it. But because they didn't market it well, it didn't sell well, and they're saying, well, it didn't sell well, people don't want good controls, but I just don't really think that's accurate.
I remember John D saying like their profit margin wasn't good at all on that cabinet.
Oh, that's interesting. I missed that part of it. But my point is, you could have charged $429 or $449, and it would have been a better value still than some of the stuff they're selling these days for $500.
Yeah,
It's almost like they need like a.
You think Wi-Fi is going to be like a common thing on all these
No,
arcade one-ups?
I don't. I'd love to be wrong, but I don't.
Really?
I'm hoping they do.
Wow. I thought that I don't know. I thought they would be leaning toward that. I think for the beat 'em ups, it should be Wi-Fi.
Fighting games too.
Yeah, well, yeah, don't get me wrong. I think they're going to do it for maybe standard for fighting games for certain genres.
Yeah.
I would like to see it on all of them for update infrastructure, because as someone who had to take my cocktail cabinet, my Miss Pac-Man apart 3 or maybe 4 times to get in there, I had to get into my pinball to pull the PCB out to replace it. And yeah, if you look at the back of the arcade one-up pinball, there is a user accessible panel. You can remove it, get your hand in there and stuff. But they save money on no user accessible USB port to the back of the cabinet, which, you know, in iiRcade, it's not as hard, but especially in the at games, you've actually got a physical type A USB port female right there. You just pop it in, you're good. So with Arcade One Up, they bury these damn ports. You can't get to them. So updating them is annoying. They change their update process every time. Like, you need a female USB port thumb drive, which is weird. Not a lot of people have that. You probably got to go buy it. Or you need Windows PC only with a micro, blah, 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 a bunch of words. But they change their process each time. Like, man, just give us Wi-Fi. Just download the damn update. Whether it has online play or not, I think some games need that more than others. I think they should all have Wi-Fi. I don't think they're going to do it.
So how's your Attack from Mars now with the new PCB?
It's good. Yeah.
What was the issue with it? I remember watching the video. I can't remember.
Well, let me get.
Or it was like stuff, right?
So I've got the PCB on my desk because I'm waiting for them to give me instructions to ship it back, and they haven't yet. So I don't know.
Milk carton, love it.
What's that? What'd you say?
This comment here, John D's face. I saw him on a milk carton.
Oh,
regret.
wait, hold on. Here we go. This one's even better. So there's actually a well, did I fix it? There was a bent pin on the video, the LVDS, but I think it's LVDS, but this like 15 pin connection. There was a bent pin on here, and I didn't notice that because it's so hard to, like, it took me like 15 minutes to get this damn thing out of the cabinet, because you have to take out like 12 screws or whatever to get through the top. It's ridiculous. Anyway, I didn't notice that. What I wondered was, once I straighten that pin, will it work now? Because the issue was display related, and I never went back and tested it because I had everything closed up again. It had me questioning my original thought that this was a software problem I had. But whatever, I'm going to send it to them if and when they give me the instructions, and hopefully they'll figure something out. But it works now.
I see a lot of people having problems with the pinballs, especially on Facebook. Like, why is that? Is it just the factory that's building them, the quality control there? Like surely they're not doing it on purpose, but like they need to change something if they're getting all these dud units, you know?
Well, this would be a reason to have. So you've got your hardware issues that some people have, and then we've got a number of known software issues that I'm sure everyone watching this stream is already aware of what those are. That would be a reason to have Wi-Fi in the damn thing. Like, yeah, okay, you saved $10 on a Wi-Fi radio. And when Zen Studios would talk about why they didn't add internet, they'd say, well, it's because we don't want to build out the infrastructure for online with leaderboards and stuff. A, you could build that infrastructure out later. It's not a have to have. B, even if it was just Wi-Fi for internet for firmware updates, that still would be a big improvement. But I think, to answer your question, it's the most complicated product they've ever made. I mean, the At Games pinball has issues too. A lot of people run into issues there. It's just complexity. It's more screens. It's more PCBs. I think they're learning as they go, but it is unfortunate.
You think they announced new pinball in June at E3?
No.
Or do you think that's it for this year?
I don't see how they could. I mean, until they get people who want the existing ones get it, which that's getting easier to order. Until they fix and address the issue. Let me just put it this way: if I were them, I would even dream of announcing Gen 2 until I've released this patch and it fixes the problems people are mad about, like with the attack from Mars.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have different opinions on
No,
that.
I agree with you 100%. I don't think they should compete with themselves either. Like you were saying, like a lot of people haven't even got their units yet, right?
Yeah.
Is there still delays on ordering the pinballs?
I've seen them pop up on Walmart for Star Wars and Marvel. I don't know. Do you guys know about Attack from Mars, where that is right now? How you can? Oh, we got energy drink, gang. What are you drinking?
This is an energy drink. It's actually a vodka drink.
Oh, it's even better.
It's a vodka grape drink.
A canned vodka drink. Nice. Anyway, yeah, no, go ahead.
Attack from Mars, you were saying?
Yeah. Do you guys know anything about the availability? So Jason, you asked what's the availability right now, the arcade one pinballs. Basically, I think if you want a Star Wars and Marvel and you keep your eye on the listings, you can get those. I don't know where Attack from Mars stands because I stopped checking once I got mine, to be honest.
Just got a comment. Another comment. I can't believe how popular my mod on my Mortal Kombat has become. So many people want to buy the cabinet. They want me to mod their cabinet. I don't even know how to take this. I don't even know how to take these requests because I'm like, I just wanted to make it like more efficient. That's all I really wanted to do.
You got to open up a store with that.
Yeah, I mean, there. Oh, you guys really got my wheels turning with this stuff. I'm like, geez, this stuff would be kind of, I don't want to be unfair to people, not like sell the stuff, but it isn't really profitable. So, it's just, I'm sorry, totally cut out that what you guys are talking about. But.
No, it's fun. No, hold on real quick. So if it's not profitable, all you can do, I think your internet might be cutting out a little bit. All you can do is make content on it, man. I mean, unless you want to build it and spend all that time. But you mentioned on last week's stream or whatever it was, 2 weeks ago, that the amount of time and whatever it took wasn't worth it. Dude, you just make content then. Show people how to do it. If you have any kind of files or plans you can give them. That's all it is.
I try to do the best kind of tutorial that I know how to do. And I'm not saying my way is the right way. That's the only way I know how to do it. So
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kyle, I cut you off. Go ahead.
Well, I was just saying I got lucky with Attack from Mars. Like I bought it from the brick and picked it up a week later. So and then I see these people on Facebook that are struggling for months to get it. And I'm just like, well, like, how are we getting it first? It's just so unbalanced.
How are you liking that Attack from Mars so far? You play it a lot?
To be honest with you, I actually don't play it a ton. I'm not a huge pinball guy. Like I've gone on record saying I just wanted to try it out just for the heck of it. And I mean, I don't mind it. It could be better. I haven't even tried playing Whitewater, if I'm being honest with you. I just like the marquee type, the Attack from Mars table the most.
You're not missing anything, man. It's unplayable.
I feel like I would be playing that Arabian Nights on that table.
It's fun. It's a good table.
Yeah. And Medieval Madness is good too.
Yep, Medieval Madness is probably my favorite. I go back and forth. Getaway I want to like because it's got that 90s Lambo and the artwork, but man, I hate that table, but whatever. It's not the arcade one up's fault. I just don't like the table.
What do you guys think about like the pinball table? I kind of took that as like when you buy, when they come out with a new model of a car, you got to wait a few years before they work the quirks out. That's kind of how I take the pinball.
I was thinking about that earlier, actually.
Yeah.
Would you buy it again, Kyle, if knowing what you know now?
I guess if it had the right, like I'm a huge fan of Creature of the Black Lagoon, the Williams table. So if it was dressed up like that and it played that, maybe had 1080p, I'd probably buy it again. But
I mean, your current Attack from Mars, do you regret buying that?
I don't know. Probably not. I do like it. It's good for the game room to at least have one. If you have people over, they might enjoy playing it. But yeah, I don't know.
What do you guys think about this? This is an interesting question. Is Arcade One Up doing 32-inch pinball? So, and we don't know. But my question to you guys is, should they do a 32-inch pinball or larger? Like, is the screen size, is that the main issue, or is it other stuff?
I think that would be a great wave to upgrade, bigger screen.
Would you expect that? Like, would you buy it if it didn't have that? If it was still 24, but it had all the other upgrades?
You're asking me as a one-to-one?
Yeah, just consumer, just as someone who would buy it.
Bigger screen, and it was 1080p. I'd be buying it today. I'd be buying it while we're talking. I mean,
so it's not just the resolution; it's also the screen size for you.
It's just too small to me. I think it looks cool as hell. I just feel like
It does look great.
you know, when you see certain views and not everybody does the review where you can see a side by side of them standing next to it and playing, it's usually a camera over the table. They're towering the table, you know, they kind of are. I just wanted just a little bit bigger, you know.
It's actually taller than the At Games Legends pinball, I believe, by a little bit. I think the height is good. I actually meant to on my review compare it to a normal mechanical pinball, like a Stern or whatever, modern Stern. I didn't do that, and I don't remember what the measurements are, but I think it's pretty close. It's right in there. It's just the screen is physically shorter.
Yeah,
It's got that smaller screen, and it's got that big fat bezel around it. I mentioned in my review, and I still stand by it. I thought I would hate the 24-inch. I don't hate it. I hate the resolution and some choppiness on some of the games. But to me, I would buy another 24 Gen 2. But I understand that people want larger screen. I think they're smart to do a larger screen. I think they'll sell more if they can.
Totally.
I mean, I loved what they did with the sound and stuff. I mean, the Star Wars that you can hear even on, you know, videos that aren't even that good of quality. That just sounds cool. I mean, they did a good job with that. You got to hand it to them.
Speaking of that, so I don't have the video up yet. I'm waiting on an approval, but I reviewed kind of a review, the Star Wars Pinball VR on Oculus. Have you guys played that yet or seen that?
I have not. No.
It's from Zen. Zen did the software. I think ILM was involved, but I don't know exactly how. Dude, that thing is cool.
Has it?
It's very cool. I don't know if you guys have Oculus headsets. I didn't have one. I do now. It's badass. And all I could think when I was playing it was, man, if this was an augmented reality thing, because it has the headsets now, VR headsets have sensors, so it can detect the room around you. I don't even know if they're not cameras or something else, but I could stand there in front of the pinball. It would know I am, and then I'm actually hitting the flippers and moving it. I mean, that would be super badass. But what was interesting to me was to play this on an Oculus Quest 2, which is basically like a smartphone level, you know, of power. And I've got all the pinball animations going crazy. It's VR, so it's 3D, so it's rendered twice. And then I've got animations around me, and it's all running crystal smooth. And the resolution wasn't as high as you might want on the Quest, like versus if you plugged it into your PC or whatever. Anyway, that made me really think, man, how weak is the Arcade 1-Up PCB that it can't even run these damn games smooth with limited animations and limited interactivity?
Yeah, I think they definitely got to upgrade some stuff for Wave 2.
They have to.
I'm holding, like, I didn't get any of the pinballs yet. I was so close to getting the Star Wars one when they first, you know, went on pre-order, but just never pulled the trigger on one. I guess at this point, I'll just wait for the second wave.
I think that's the smartest move.
Yeah. But
so Kyle, you
well on space up here.
Yeah, man, me too. That's not the main reason I'm moving, but it's a small part of it. Kyle, are you going to ever mod that Attack from Mars, or is it more of just, hey, this is a centerpiece of the room?
I actually was looking at throwing in some Sanwas just for the flippers, but I haven't really gone around to doing it yet. But yeah, it's pretty much just a showpiece. Like I'm not sure how long it'll hang around here for, if I'm being honest. I'm serious. It takes up a lot of space. Like it hangs out. It's right here. It hangs out pretty far, right? Like
yeah. That pong table takes up a ton of space.
That
was why I didn't get it.
I was literally watching your game room review like minutes before we got on. I see you rearrange things again.
Yeah. That's what I was doing all this morning, and I had to rebuild the pong table, like I said before.
Yeah.
So all that took like a few hours.
It's like Tetris in there.
You must have picked up. You must have got a good deal on one of the Miss Pac-Mans. I don't remember seeing that in your game room before.
I do have the Miss Pac-Man.
Which one do you have?
I got the one with the came with the light up marquee.
Yeah.
Where did I buy that from?
Did it have Dig Dug or
Target? Actually, Target was selling it for a little while.
Oh, I didn't even know Target still had one up.
This was like when that one first came out. Like they had it for like 2 weeks and then they sold out.
Yeah.
And, so that's where I got the Miss Pac-Man. It has, Dig Dug, Galaxian, and Super Pac-Man on it too.
Nice. Yeah, that was the one to get, the one with Dig Dug. What do you guys think about these retailers carrying one ups. Like I felt like I was kind of crying wolf a year ago when there was a second wave of clearances, and I said, "Oh man, one up's going to be in trouble," and I was completely wrong. So I'm real nervous to make predictions. But Target doesn't heavily carry them anymore. Walmart is doing another round of clearances. I wonder, is this stuff normal for these retailers? I don't shop at Walmart and Target that much, so maybe it's normal after 6 months of carrying a product, or is this really a big sign of danger for Walmart?
I think it's normal for all the products. They can't stay there forever. I mean, it's not a,
but that much of a clearance though. I mean, I hear you on sales, but to take a 3-4, people were getting NBA Jam, which I think the Walmart version was $3.99, and getting them for $100 in a lot of cases, not 1 or 2 cases, but in a lot of cases.
I think what they're trying to do is they're getting rid of all the Miss Pac-Mans, NBA Jams, and they're trying to get these legacy cabinets in there, because I'm starting to see them in there now. So I think they're just trying to go with the legacies for right now until, I guess, whatever else comes out.
And the stuff that they are doing on clearance, I mean, 19K Fox made a video on it with huge points made that a lot of these clearance ones, hands down, they're not coming with risers. They're not coming with light up marquees. I mean, they're the basic model.
Yeah, those cabinets suck.
So do you want to spend $300 full price on that? And now you got to get riser and you got to get this and this. It's like, yeah, maybe it's not. Maybe
$100 for NBA Jam with the riser, you can't beat that.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't all of them, but definitely some of them. Like the Mist Pack, I think that I was seeing people get on sale was without riser, and apparently there are legacy cabinets without a riser or light up marquee, which I didn't even know existed.
Really?
Yeah,
for $2.99.
Like Walmart doing that.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Which
So
like,
strange.
who the hell wants that? Yeah.
Yeah, like all these weird variations, right? Like,
yeah,
That's the retailer model, though. I mean, that's the downside with iiRcade, and even at Games, they control their own destiny a little bit more. But at Games got pressure from retailers, I think, to shrink their SKU list. So they did that at Games Mini that's both a vertical or a horizontal screen. Apparently that was for that reason. It wasn't so we could switch it and play different variants. It was so that they could sell it to retail and they could have one thing on the shelf. So I think sometimes retailers can, like, that's a positive influence in my opinion. Like that's an interesting product. But other times I think they just go to these companies and just nag them, or you know what I mean? They demand like the lowest price without consideration for the quality of the product. Who the hell wants a legacy cab without the riser? It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, Dylan J's commenting that it's not a arcade one-up issue. It's just a retailer shelf space thing, which I agree with.
Yeah.
I mean, we had those
so.
We had those NBA Jams on our Walmart shelves up in here in New Hampshire forever. And same with MK.
Us here too in Ohio.
MK Gen 2, that thing was on the shelf for a year and a half. Nobody was buying it. So what do? You know, as a retailer.
Yeah.
After a while, it's like, you know, great if you get a deal on these and they just gotta unload it for half the price. I mean,
yeah, like they need the space, right? Like space is money.
yeah. And those Walmart apps, dude, gold.
Yeah, but you know, it used to be easier. You used to be able to see like a list of your local stores within a radius and it would show stock. They definitely have hustled to keep us from running triage between stores.
Yeah.
I thought we definitely saw the end of the $50 cabinet, but apparently not. Remember Asteroids was like $50?
I have a $75 Asteroids, which was like the only one I ever got on sale, but whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I love it. I love it. If as long, you know, I love that people can get deals on cabinets that they really do want to get, and they just think the price is a little high. And you're only going to get the people that are just going to buy 12 of them, like what's on the cart that you did, Dave, you know, and just flip them and try to make a profit. But that kind of stinks if you truly just want to get a better deal on one.
Hey, as somebody who used to camp out for Nintendo Minis for like 5 hours to flip them, that took a lot of work. All my friends wanted that shit for free. I'd call you when I go out at 3 a.m. If you want to come, you can. Most of them never did, but then they want a discount. I just want to react to this comment from Chris, because you might be totally right, Chris, that it is normal. And that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying, oh man, doom and gloom because there's some clearances. But just because John said it's normal, John, I mean, we got to remember, John speaks for the company. And I see comments all the time. Yeah. Well, I heard this from this company and that, dude, but it's the company. They're going to spin stuff positively. Like you can't just expand. And that's true too for some, you know, if YouTubers are tightly affiliated with the company, you're going to have some of that, and it's natural. It's normal. There's nothing wrong with it, but you gotta understand that context. Just because they say it's normal doesn't mean it is.
No, of course you want people to go on the Arcade One website and pay full price for these things. Of course, right?
Right.
It's their business.
Let me know if you see a $100 outrun cab. I'll drive 3 hours for it.
You know, there was a $200 one. Go ahead, 8-bit.
Yeah, I will let you know about the outrun. I haven't seen 0 stand-up outruns anywhere.
The sit downs went down to 200, but it was really rare from what I could tell. And I wasn't able to get one, but I tried.
And I'm a maniac. I mean, I will drive miles and go on. I'll put in my zip code for the 300 miles just to see, you know, where certain things are. Because I have friends that truly do want to get a cabinet, but they just don't want to pay quite that much. And I had a friend that was able to get a Jam for $99.
Wow.
That he really wanted it. And I'm like,
I want to react to this troll comment. Any men in here, dude? We're talking about literally toys.
I know.
Like, what do you expect? Like, do you think this is a hunting channel? Like, we're talking about our toys. What the hell do you expect? Anyway, all right. Well, back to Simpsons earlier. I don't know if you guys saw it. I went kind of quickly through in the chat. So P-Dub said his primary reason he took it down was because it might cause some issues. His secondary reason was it could be fake. That's interesting to me because I thought for sure it was fake. And for anyone watching, if you guys aren't up to speed, so there was a leak, maybe real, maybe fake, of a Simpsons cabinet. If you guys have been following one up for a while, you know that they leak stuff, sometimes intentionally, sometimes accidentally, I think, before the product actually gets announced. This close to E3, I would guess if it was a leak, it probably was accidental. We know they're working on Simpsons. We know as of a few months ago, whenever John last resurfaced with Retro Ralph on that interview, he said, yeah, we're working on it, but we're kind of a long ways from it, which is why I don't think we're going to get a Simpsons at E3, but I could be wrong. Do you guys think it's real or a fake? And then Rainwater said could be fake. Yeah, I mean, Pete Up said in the chat earlier, it's a possibility. Now, read between the lines. He could be saying that to cover tracks because, you know, it was under embargo and he wasn't supposed to say anything. Who knows?
So I think it's real. One of the things I wanted to point out about that one too is, did you guys notice the trackball on the control panel?
I didn't see it at all. So describe what it looks like because I never got to see it.
So it looked like the Konami cabinet, but the side panels were shaped almost like a Legacy. It's almost like Killer Instinct, except for it's got the four player layout, and there was a trackball also in the middle for Simpsons Bowling, which looked kind of interesting. It had 2 molded coin doors, it looked like, on the front plate. It actually looked really good.
I saw the video. I mean, I wasn't hating on that video at all. I don't think he did anything wrong. I mean, so it leaked, and he posted it. Big deal. It could have been anybody.
Dude, you got to know, sometimes information, like let's say you have a YouTube channel that covers this stuff, like we all do, and you get information because somebody leaked it and you put up the video, then it's real easy to make you the target, which is bullshit because it's out there, it's public. I got an angry call one time. I did a video and then they realized it was their mistake and they took it away. So it doesn't matter what company it was, but there was information that was publicly released. I knew of it like internally, but I wasn't supposed to say anything. But once it went public, okay, I'm going to do a video and comment on it because what the hell? We have a YouTube channel. If we can't comment on stuff, why are we here? So I do a video and comment. And I get an angry call. And I'm like, dude, are you fucking kidding? Are you flipping kidding me? Like, come on, shut up. I don't work for you. Sometimes these companies think one of them is worse than the others. And everyone can imagine what that is. But they think that people that make content on this stuff are their employees. Instead of thinking, wow, we get lots of free marketing, this is cool. They think, oh, these are like my employees. I can tell them what to say. And I understand embargoes and stuff, and that's fine. That's one thing. You got to respect the embargoes. But if stuff leaks and you talk about it, now, if you're told stuff, which I doubt P-Dubs was because Arcade One Up normally just doesn't tell people stuff. They've given Ralph some insider information, but I don't know that they've ever given anyone else a lot of info. And that's not a knock against P-Dubs or anybody else. It's just they have that relationship with Ralph, and that just seems to be it. But if he got it from a public source, man, who cares? But anyway, yeah, I'm convinced. It sounds to me like it probably is real, which is dope.
I mean, it might not be the real, like the legit design we're going to see, but I still think we're going to see some sort of cabinet from Simpsons there.
And what are we really leaking? One cabinet out of, we have no idea any of the others. We really don't. I mean, it sounds like pretty legit from the people who do know something that we're not getting a driving cabinet this time. We're not getting a gun cabinet this E3. But so what else is there? I mean, announcements of cabinets we already know about and actual release dates, I guess.
So out of the X-Men 4-player and possible Simpsons, which one you guys getting out of those two?
What do we know the full Simpsons games lineup, or do we only know Bowling and Simpsons? Was there any other leak of the games?
No.
I think it was just those 2 games.
Yeah.
What was
I'd
the
have
other
to
one?
see the full lineup, but I'd probably lean towards Simpsons because I'm a little iffy on the other X-Men titles.
Yeah. Same here.
Simpsons.
I think the Simpsons cab replaced the X-Men for me, if it comes out.
I mean, I'm not going to get it, but I would be leaning at the Simpsons cab just because I have X-Men on modded stuff that I've played a ton.
Yeah.
Wait, is this a troll? What the hell is Simpsons Tapper? Is this trolling us?
I don't know.
Like the game Tapper, and then
I
I've never
think
heard
it's
of it.
real.
I think that
Yeah.
is-
That's a real game.
I think so. Yeah.
Is it
Oh, really?
Tapper as in root beer
That'd be
Tapper
awesome.
/ Budweiser?
I don't know the game, but
Duff
Okay.
maybe.
I've never played it, but I've heard of it. Like
Interesting.
Tapper on Simpsons.
because I did a stream with Techno Billy a little while ago, and he built a Tapper cabinet, and he was saying something about putting Simpsons Tapper on it. So it must be real.
That would be pretty cool, though. If I had those
Did
3.
you guys see that? Did you see that Techno Billy's Tapper mod? That is
Gorgeous.
that-
What did he do? What did he do? Tell us about it. I haven't seen it.
He made a 3/4 exact replica of Tapper in 3/4 size, and it's friggin' him.
Yeah.
Which would be
beautiful.
tough to do. That would be a tough physical cabinet to recreate.
He's got
I
some
was-
beer holders on the side.
Nice.
Yeah, that's pretty
What's
nice.
up?
I mean, coming from a modder, I'm a modder myself, and that I was impressed with that cabinet. I was, whoa, that's cool. That's super cool. I think every bar owner would own one if Arcade came up with that. Like,
They've talked about doing commercial level products before. I don't know if it'll ever actually happen, but it's definitely something on the radar. There's no question. So they brought it up 2 or 3 times. Sometimes when they would bring up stuff once, I could write it off because, it could just be John said something in an interview. It just doesn't necessarily mean it's real. But if it comes out multiple times, I know they're really working on it. Just like pinball. Think about pinball before those were announced. It would come up multiple times. They would wink and nod about it. You knew they were working on something. I don't get that feeling with physical cabinets that they would sell that would be commercial size and grade, but it would be dope if they did it.
Totally.
And,
Yeah, I
going-
heard that rumor they might do that too a couple months ago.
Yep.
what do you guys think about? Like, I was just kind of like brainstorming some ideas, and something that keeps coming to my mind that we're talking about at games and putting a steering wheel on the cabinet. So everybody's kind of talking about that, but what would you guys think if at games was as big as that monitor is with a steering wheel on it, if they had a sit down seat to that? That'd be pretty wild, right? That'd be an upgrade to that cabinet for sure.
You're talking about for the full size Legends Ultimate?
Yeah.
I feel like it's just too.
Tall.
I feel like that would work better for the Legends Mini. I'm looking at the Legends Ultimate right now, and I feel like you'd be up so high. I don't know that it'd be practical. Just my take, though.
Mm-hmm. Like if they kind of made it like the Outrun, if you will. But
I'd like to see that on the Mini. When they announced the Mini, that was probably of all the Legends products I've ever seen. I thought that was the most exciting. It looked really versatile. It was small enough that you could probably marry it with the seat. I mean, I didn't think about that at the time, but it's a good idea. And then obviously you could do the rotated vertical or horizontal screen.
So Deputy Van Halen just mentioned the claw machine. I forgot. It'd be pretty cool dartboard if they announced something like that at E3.
Oh, didn't Sega have an arcade dartboard? And then I think they did. It was called like Dart 7, or I don't remember the name of it, but it was in Shenmue too. Dreamcast Kyle has to remember this, dude.
I remember it. Like I played Shenmue, but I'm trying to remember the dartboard.
Did you play the re-release of Shenmue?
No.
Okay.
No.
But yeah, they had a Sega licensed dartboard, and I always assumed it was a real product because the other stuff they had in there were all real products.
Yeah, I think if they did a dartboard with Wi-Fi, I think that'd be a pretty cool addition to a game room. I think I'd be all over that.
So Super has just made an interesting comment. Says console kits low key leaked out on the weekly. I'm assuming he's talking about this 7/8, but is that a troll? I mean, man, if you were doing 7/8, why wouldn't you just do 8/8? That seems like a weird line to split. I don't know.
So
Is
we're
what
about
it
a
is.
month away from E3, right? What's the date of that? June 12th, I think, or
I don't know offhand. I know it's June.
I think it's like around June 12th. So we're about a month away. We'll find out.
Do you guys think we're going to see like Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter live or anything like that?
We should. I mean, if they don't, I feel like it's a missed opportunity. They have the licenses. They've got the netcode system or whatever they're using for these online. I mean, why not do it?
Yeah.
I would love to see a Street Fighter live.
I think a lot of people would. Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised they're not doing that. There's just so much demand for Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat live. I don't get it.
Yeah, but they just did the legacies, and I don't know if they'd want to cannibalize that. But Kyle, as somebody who, well, I guess both you and 8-Bit, you guys mod a lot of your products. But if you get the online connected, you know, and you mod it, you lose the online connection, right? If by mod it, we're talking about just gutting the internals. Would you, if you could get one of those cabinets, would you care since you already have a lot of stuff? Would you still buy it and then just leave it stock? I mean, how would you treat that as a modder?
Well, it's funny you say that because I just recently picked up Marvel vs. Capcom and I'm deciding on whether I want to convert it to something. So I'm kind of in that war right now, trying to decide what I want to do. If they release a Mortal Kombat live, I think that would be my cabinet. It's my game, but I'm really considering modding the MVC right now.
So then why get the MVC to begin with? Just the artwork, basically?
No, I wanted to try out the Wi-Fi just to see, because I had not played any of their Wi-Fi. Like, I didn't get NBA Jam or anything, so I haven't really tried any of their Wi-Fi cabinets. I just wanted to see what it was like to play online and see how it was.
What do you think
actually, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad from when I was playing it.
Nice. Yeah, I remember when NBA Jam came out and everyone was tripping over themselves to announce the importance of connecting Ethernet for NBA Jam, where it doesn't matter, but absolutely could see that being helpful with a fighting game. Yeah. Did you do the Ethernet to micro USB connection, or do you just run in the Wi-Fi and it's good?
I'm just running in Wi-Fi right now. It's been okay.
Nice.
Are people still on it? Like playing, you're getting a lot of games?
Yeah. I was having instant games. I was playing it a few days ago and just instant connections to people.
It seems like there's nobody on Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter though. I think I saw like one.
Yeah, it's all NBC,
which is like my favorite game on there.
That's too bad.
But there's a lot of people on Marvel vs. Capcom though. Definitely.
They have like tournaments and stuff, don't
How's
they?
that?
Yeah.
I mean, you just get your ass totally whipped in 5 seconds, or do you dominate?
I usually get my ass kicked.
I did good at first, and then I started leveling up, and then I started getting my ass kicked.
You get a little bit of hope, and then you're done. Like,
I don't know the game very well.
And there are guys who've been playing that game forever.
Yeah,
since it launched.
Yeah,
and just never left it. It has. I understand it has a really active community and always has.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I did the review on it, and you can clearly tell I was button mashing in the gameplay portion of it, because it's not my game. Like, you give me Mortal Kombat, I'll be fine.
M1,
M2, M3 mostly.
Oh,
Ultimate M3, yeah, MK3.
Nice. How's your full original cab search going? Full size cab?
Man, it's not good. Like, there's nothing around here. Like, I see all these guys getting deals. I think 8-Bit mentioned it earlier. These guys are getting crazy deals, and like I was seeing Mortal Kombat cabinets going for $2,000 here.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Is that in like mint condition or not?
No, like some of them still had wear and tear.
Jeez.
Yep. There was a guy that was selling one. It was for $2,000, and it had audio issues. He was saying the audio was cutting in and out. He still wanted $2,000 for it.
That's too much.
Well, they're capitalizing on the movie, right? Like, the movie just came out, so crank the prices up.
I wanted to ask that earlier, especially because Kyle's t-shirt. Have you guys seen the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been out for a while. What'd you think of it?
I liked it. I mean, I don't know. My expectations were not very high, so I thought it was. I love the violence. I thought it was non-PG. I'm all about it. Did it have to have a tournament or something? I don't know. There's some talk that there's going to be more of these movies, so maybe it's like a startup to a sequel or something. I don't know.
They definitely staged it that way. Yeah, go ahead, Kyle.
Yeah, it's definitely a setup movie for sure. I think the acting was good with some people. I think the guy who played Sub-Zero was really well. Some of the choices that they made, I'm not going to spoil it for anybody, but some of the choices they made on who they decided to kill off, I didn't really prefer, but I enjoyed it. I've watched it a few times, and I still think it's a good watch.
Yes. I haven't seen it yet, so I got to check it out.
I'd recommend watching it. I think I'd echo what you guys said. Definitely they killed someone off, and I thought I kept waiting for it to be like a twist, and he wasn't, and it just whatever.
Yeah.
And then not getting to a tournament bothered me a little bit, but anyone who's read any reviews probably knows that.
Yeah.
But overall, man, I mean, it's Mortal Kombat. It was fun. I rewatched the original a few weeks ago, and that is what it is. It's like a love to hate kind of movie. But dude, I still like that movie. I don't care. That movie's 90s vibes all day.
I think I'm just lenient on it because we can't really go to the movies yet.
There's not much out.
There's not much out there, so I was thrilled for it. I was just like,
yeah. Oh, I should address this question actually, because I didn't really explain like where this came from. Why they put that in there. So I have understanding that they're considering doing a big reveal. I don't know what that big reveal is. Apparently, no one knows what that big reveal is. Maybe it's a little clickbaity. I put that in there, but to be honest, the reason I did is because the fact that they're even thinking about a big reveal is the biggest news we've had out of Unico since they did the MVSX. When they did it, to me, there was a big question. Are they going to do more products? Are they going to iterate? Are they going to capture other licenses? Or is this just like a one and done, an opportunity? My understanding from the backstory is that's how it started. Just totally opportunity. He had a license that was available. Arcade One Up originally was trying to run with the license. That didn't work out. Other company got it. Boom. We're going to create, some new stuff around this with a bunch of people that have been involved in other related projects with Neo Geo. So that's sort of the background. So I always wondered, will that ever go further? I liked the MVSX when I reviewed it, even though I didn't have the base under, which Kyle has the full unit behind him. So I was hunched over like a madman trying to play it. And it was a lot of games I wasn't that familiar with. Well, there were probably like 10 games on there that I like. And then to me, it was learning a bunch of new games as I went. But I thought that was cool that they have 50 games, whatever. Long story short, I really want to see them do a big announcement. I'd love to see them do a second iteration with the proper 4-button layout, a little bit larger cabinet so you can really stand there with a second person. They need to do it. I think they can do it. And I think they did a good enough job with the first gen MVSX that they deserve a seat at the table and to give some competition with these other companies. So I hope they'll do it. But apparently if they're planning, even contemplating a big reveal at E3, they got to have something up their sleeves, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah, like, so if you're Unico, like, what's your ace in the hole to be like different from other companies? Is it the 50 games? Is it maybe releasing a full-size cabinet? You got to have something to stand out.
Agreed. It has to stand out. I think the 50 games is an awesome start. But you can't do that with every publisher. Not everyone's going to allow that or price accordingly to where they can do that. And different publishers have different, price points and whatever that they need to hit for their licenses. So I don't know if it'll always be able to be 50, but I think the low-hanging fruit for them is they just redesign the MVSX. And people liked it. I think people would welcome a second generation, and it buys them time to work out license deals if they don't yet have them. And they may already have them. I know they're working on it. If they already have something lined up, awesome. But if they don't, they could easily come with MVSX2 this fall.
So I'm naive to that cabinet. Jason, how big is the monitor on that MVSX?
On the MVSX?
Yeah.
19, I think.
Yeah.
Same?
19 or 17. You know what? I can't remember. I think it's a 19. Pretty sure.
I think it is a 19.
Yeah. But if they did another MVSX2, you think, what would they do? Just another different 50 Neo Geo games? Is that what you're
Wi-Fi,
thinking?
maybe?
Yeah. Or they wouldn't theme it as like maybe a King of Fighters or something like that.
I'd be okay with keeping the big red aesthetic. I want this. I want the 4-button layout. And I get it. Some people want those extra buttons when they add games. They definitely have more games they could add. One of the weird things they had running for a while was they're working on these game packs, and then they go away, and then maybe they're coming back. And I haven't heard anything for a few weeks, but last I heard they were going to do game packs, and then SNK killed that project, and then maybe they'll still be game packs. So they have something in the works for bringing more games in. So a new one could have more games. It could be expandable games list. Probably needs to have Wi-Fi. I agree.
Yeah.
19K Fox agrees with your 4-button layout.
Gotta have it, man. It's just, if you're going to do an authentic style cabinet that isn't just a generic multicade, I really think you've got to have controls that fit that view.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I understand. I mean, clearly there's an upside to this extra 2 buttons. I just want that original layout with the buttons placed correctly.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, that's all I had for this stream.
Capcom cab.
What's up?
I'm hoping they do a Capcom cab. I hope that's
Me too.
Their big reveal.
That'd be amazing. That'd be absolutely amazing. Oh, actually, before we go, I want to address this. So Brad said 8 buttons should be standard on multicades. I don't know if I agree with that with stuff like the at games, but with the iiRcade, absolutely. Because as they get into newer games that require more buttons, they're having to do weird stuff like hit the coin button to actually do a function in the game or whatever for dead cells.
Yeah,
it's showing that, okay, if you're going to play these modern games on this platform, you probably do need 8 buttons. I would like to see that from a second-gen iiRcade. But I'm guessing it'll be a while before we get a second-gen iiRcade. I just want to get that out there.
Yeah. Hey, based on our old stream that we've done a while, I'm like scared to bring this subject up. But the Killer Instinct that you had mentioned, unqualified, about the design of that cabinet as far as the control panels being the same design as the legacy cabinets and not being able to kind of fit your hands in there with 2 people. Like I don't think that people responded well to that. Not that this is, this is just one thing we're so dreading not seeing if the KI cabinet comes out and the cabinet is the control panel is the same as the Capcom or Midway cab. I think we're all gonna cry.
First, because I love these trolls, more frustrating, no big S info. Yeah, man, welcome to YouTube in a category with razor thin amounts of information that come out. So we got to have something to talk about. We don't have a lot, but the fact that they're contemplating an announcement is as good an info as we're going to get. So deal with that. The KI, I like to think they learned their lesson from the legacy cabinets. I like to think they saw the reaction and said, man, because KI is going to be a premium price point cabinet. I don't think they can afford those mistakes. I think they have to have it sized correctly. But as we know from the renders, they had those little winglets on the side. So do they have time to revamp that? Yeah, I mean, they didn't announce a release date. They could do it anytime.
Hopefully they tilt the screen back a little bit too, so you can see the full screen when you're standing up and playing.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
That's really important for that cabinet.
Are all you guys going to buy KI when it comes out?
Hell yeah.
I'm on the fence with it. I'm not like a huge Killer Instinct guy, but I don't know. We'll see.
What about you, Kyle? You getting it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I've already bought the sound system. I bought the HAP stuff. I'm already like
Got the HAP kit already.
yeah.
Nice. Because I'm moving and I'm going to be in a small apartment for a year, I might just go down to my ALU and my iiRcade for a while. But I might also buy it and just keep it in the box for when I move. Because you know how these things are. They might not be available next year. But long story short, I haven't decided. But yeah.
You put all your stuff in storage, all your cabinets.
Yeah, man. I don't want to. Like, I hate moving. And so here I am putting myself in a situation where I have to move twice.
Yeah.
So sell my house, get an apartment, build the house, move to the house. Like, you just described walking hell to me. I don't want to do it, but I'm going to do it. What makes the small apartment cut? Yeah, I don't know. I haven't picked an apartment yet, but it's not going to have like a game room. Certainly, like it'll have a small living room, like 900,000 square feet, something like that. It's not going to be a studio or anything, but it's not going to have room for all my stuff because I'm like you guys. I got a game room. I'm accustomed to have some stuff sprawled out, so I'm gonna have to wait. Yeah, Deputy, I'll do that if you give me a few joy rides in that Ferrari you got, my dude.
You staying in state? Cross country?
No, I'm staying in state, but it's about an hour from where I am now, so it's still a hike. But I'll have to decide which arcades I move. And like I said, I mean, when you get in, I've always said this: if you have a small space, you can't really argue with the ALU and the iiRcade because you get so much more value. Or I mean, like you can buy an arcade one up in Modem, but I can't justify the individual arcade machines anymore if I don't have the space until I get into a new room and then I'll have a larger game room. So right now I've got about 500-600 square foot game room, and I want to be quite a bit larger than that when I move.
Yeah.
Nice.
But anyway, that's all I had for the day, guys. You all have any parting words or anything you want to share with folks before we jump?
That's pretty much it for me. Had a great time talking to you guys today.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, appreciate having me on.
Cool. Thanks, fellas. Check out the channels. I'll put a link below when this is
chat with you, Kyle.
posted up.
Good to finally chat with you.
I know, right?
You guys got any big projects you're working on that you want to shout out, or if not, just everyone can check out their channels?
I'm going to post a video this week. I finished my Nintendo project, so that's going to be blasted off this week.
Nice.
Took forever. I'm so glad it's done.
If it's Nintendo, you got to do it right.
Yeah. How's 50,000 coming, Jason, on Commando?
Oh God!
Man, I only did that once. That game is tough.
I was like half drunk. I went to play it and I got like 54,000. Of course, I wasn't videoing it, and I was like, "Holy shit!" You know, but the only thing I have to prove is that I got to put my name in. That's it.
It's better than I can do by a long shot.
I haven't been able to touch that score since. I'm like, it's all about run and gun, I guess.
Yeah, that Retromania wrestling tab's coming this week. I'll try to have a review out soon.
Nice.
Yeah.
I look forward to that. And the iiRcade reviews are interesting because if you've seen one, you've seen them all. But at the same time, that the Retromania one looks so good.
That just looks fun.
Definitely worth doing its own review and letting us know what you think.
Yeah.
And thanks, Emery, for the super chat. Well, thanks, boys. Kyle, you got anything coming this week, or just check the channel out?
Working on the Punisher cabinet. My artwork from Joe Sabo should be in soon, and I have an early concept on Marvel vs. Capcom, but I'm not going to talk about it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, when you're ready to reveal it, we'll look forward to that.
Yep.
That's an awesome MK1 or the Mortal Kombat Gen 2 version you did.
Thanks, man.
Yeah,
I was trying to build my own little legacy. I was just having fun with it.
Yeah. If I had that cab, I would have.
I like those point doors on there.
Yeah.
I had to get the legacy. I didn't have Gen 2.
The Gen 2s are really expensive right now, too. I seen one on eBay for $1,000.
That's crazy, Tom.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I'll probably buy Killer Instinct, even if I'm just keeping it in a box, because the value is so high. I feel like when they hit retail, I kind of have to get them then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, boys. Well, thanks for the stream. Appreciate it. Thanks, everyone, for hanging with us. Enjoy your Sunday. We'll talk soon.
All right, guys.
Talk to you soon. See you guys.
Have a good day.